Just one small point. Access to education, quality education, is a constitutional right under Article 43 of the Constitution. We know that William Ruto never supported the Constitution. He was in the No team. But we want to remind him he is obliged, like all Kenyans, to obey, to defend, and to protect the Constitution. He therefore must not dismantle the efforts that have been put over the years towards universal access to education in this country. Kibaki started with free primary education, allowing so many children who have been left out to attend school. It went on to partial secondary. It was increased a little bit during the Ruto period. We should now be aiming to freeing education from kindergarten, that is ECD, to university level. Instead, Ruto and his administration have behaved the way locusts behave when they descend on greenery. They consume everything and leave nothing. So what his administration is doing is destroying education without providing the basics for university, which is accommodation, tuition, and meals. You have not given access to the poor, because any one of those three can make them drop out. Without providing the capitation for secondary, most students will be out. Without supporting primary education fully the way it should be supported, we are saying this country has money to do these things, cut out all the unnecessary spending, fund education as one of the basic needs of the country and of every human being in order to develop their full potential. So that's all that we are saying. This is a demand, not because we say so, but also because the Constitution of Kenya says so, and Kenyans expect it. We want to thank you very much, and let's see if there is any clarification that would mark the end.
Only to add from my side, that is not just a statement. You see what is happening at Moi University is not just about funding model. It's also a threat on its instruments, the properties. You see what is happening at University of Nairobi. It's beyond the funding model. It's about the capture of the university, the chancellorship, the vice chancellorship, and even student unions. And this is clearly a predetermined affront on education in Kenya to collapse from CBC to high school and colleges and universities. What this government that is clearly clueless should know is that there will be very serious and enduring consequences soon. There must be a convergence, the grievances by the students, by the academic and non-teaching staff, by the management, by parents, and by we stakeholders, by being taxpayers and also leaders in the country. And that convergence will have to push for a resolution. And that resolution cannot happen when the very problem that is the Ruto administration is in place. It has to give way.
Professor.
I think apart from, especially the four of us standing before you, apart from us, having served in this country and even elsewhere in several positions, the three of us, Kabando, myself, Mukisa, were in student leadership. And during those days, university education was actually more or less free because after the government paid for most of the expenses, students were given boom. We were given money which was not a loan, which we were not supposed to pay. And so one asks, if those days, all these senior people in the country could enjoy that kind of education, why is it that now education must be so expensive to exclude particularly children of the poor? Education is so critical because it shapes a nation. What kind of labor force you have, what kind of leadership you have. So when you miss doing elementary things in terms of promoting it, then you are more or less collapsing your country. And that is why, from particularly my experience as a teacher for many years, this is an issue that is really a core issue in our country's history and as we go forward. I have had occasion to look at the documents of the current government, starting with the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, where on the section on education, they promised that education was going to be inexpensive, it was going to be an equalizer in black and white. And even in the presidential task force that was chaired by Professor Munavu, the funding model in that, by and large, allowed students who are needy actually not to pay anything. Two categories, not to pay anything. And even the others, they were not paying much. So one must question those reversals and to question, did those two documents, the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto as well as the Presidential Task Force, want those serious documents? And therefore, why this reversal? And so when I stand here, when we stand here, we are saying that the education sector, the health sector, and several sectors, there are sectors you don't compromise with because they go to the core of the people's livelihoods, especially the majority of the people who don't have a lot of livelihood opportunities. And I am happy, even as a teacher, standing with these colleagues and getting interested in being like a conscience of the nation, so that when we see things that are not right, we point them and we call our country to focus on what is not right, and even to say these are potential solutions, so that in this education sector that we are addressing today, we are able to assist the young people who need an education and who need their accompanying jobs and a self-employment as well, so that they are secured. Thank you.